Harvard conference for having me, for inviting me to be the keynote speaker. Before I get into turbocharging India at 2030, let me start off by talking about the most successful startup of independent India in the last 75 years. That is the young state of Telangana. We are, in fact, the state of Telangana, which is the youngest and the newest state in India today. We're just about 8 years old, and we were formed after a protracted struggle for over several decades. Fortunately for us, and fortunately for the people of Telangana, the leader who led the agitation, who understands and embodies the aspirations of the people of Telangana, has been chosen by the people as their chief minister. Now he's been elected twice by the people, once in 2014, another time in 2018. Our chief minister, Shri KTR Garu, is a grassroots man. He is absolutely solely focused on getting the fundamental aspirations and fundamental needs of the people right. He believes very firmly, and we as a government also believe very firmly, on the 3I mantra: innovation, infrastructure, and inclusive growth. Now, innovation in today's technology parlance, in today's world, typically is equated with startups. But I believe innovation is about questioning and challenging status quo. Innovation is about disruptive thinking. Innovation is about challenging why things have to be done in a certain way. In India, we've all been conditioned to think, to not question, not to think, but to not question status quo, not question traditions, not question practices, well-laid procedures, etc., etc. But unless we bring in that element of disruption in our thinking, things will not change. So therefore, when I say innovation, I don't just mean innovation in the technology space. I mean innovation on numerous fronts that have been accomplished in Telangana. Now let me list down a few of those innovations that have happened in the last 8 years. When we started our journey as a new state, our Honorable Chief Minister, who believes in data, who believes in making decisions based on data sciences, wanted to have a base data to sort of lay out a plan for development and welfare. Unfortunately, because of how government functions in silos, we've never had a unified kind of a data structure. So we embarked on a very, very ambitious, first of its kind initiative in India, called as a comprehensive household survey. Across the length and breadth of Telangana, the 40 million people, the 4 crore people who are segregated into about a crore households, 10 million households, have been asked to stay put in their homes, and the government teams, government had formed a number of teams, and they actually went about in the course of one single day, 24 hours, in conducting the socio-economic survey, in collecting the much needed data. Now today, that data has become a gold mine. Now that has formed the basis for all the decisions the government of Telangana has taken over the last 7.5 years. One other thing I would like to point out, because our Honorable Chief Minister keeps reiterating this, all sort of nonsense flies in the absence of good data. When you have good data, when your data is sanitized, when your data is clear, then the decision making also becomes that much more lucid. When I say decision making across and policy making across number of verticals. As Minister of Industry, I can proudly tell you, back in 2014, November, our government came out with first legislation in Telangana. It is called as the TS iPass. Now the TS iPass, like the Easy Pass in US, what it stands for is Telangana State Industrial Project Approval Self-Certification System. What does that mean? What are the salient features? How is it different from any other industrial policy in other states in India? It is extremely radical in thinking. It has revolutionized the way clearances are given in India for any state. Let me just lay out a few salient features of the policy. If you were an investor, a prospective investor, and wanting to invest in the state of Telangana, you do not need a clearance from the government to start constructing your factory. If you have a piece of land, you can start from day one without even talking to the government, without even talking to the local government, the municipality or the Gram Panchayati. This you will not hear anywhere in India because we are reposing faith in our investor, because we believe that when an investor is investing for the long term in any given province or any given geographical location, they would have done the due diligence. As long as they certify as being in compliance with the law of the land, we take them at face value, we take their word at face value, and we provide all assistance. But for regulatory purposes, of course, we request them that they apply once they start construction of their factory. Simultaneously, we request them to submit an application online on the TS iPass portal. What do we do when we get the application? We, by statute, backed by legislation, we promise all clearances in less than 15 days. If we do not deliver on the 15-day promise, by statute, it's a deemed approval, it's a deemed yes on the 16th day. No state in India will tell you this. On 16th day, another very interesting thing also kicks in. To bring in accountability, to bring in our own 2 cents to the table, we also have incorporated a very, very interesting element. We said, if we find the officer or the bureaucrat responsible for the delay in causing any delay over the 15-day mandatory period, we will penalize that bureaucrat or that officer to a sum of rupees 1,000 per day. Again, no state in India will tell you this. In fact, a couple of years ago, I was in US. I met with the chairman of KPMG and I was explaining to him that no state in India has a policy as unique as this. He smiled and he said, no state in the United States also has a policy as unique as this. So that goes to show you what kind of policy making Telangana has been involved in on the industrial front. This policy, the TS iPass, has propelled us to the top of the league on the ease of doing business rankings in India, among all Indian states. These are rankings given by Government of India and the World Bank together. Let me also share with you, not only on the industry front, even on the front of Panchayati Raj, the rural development, the village development, and also urban development and municipal administration, our government has come up with new policies, new legislations. And these legislations are again innovative and path-breaking. We have introduced unique concepts such as building approvals in 21 days, or if the building approvals are not given by the municipality in 21 days, on the 22nd day, it's a deemed approval. Again, this is nowhere in India. And for smaller plots, in fact, it's instant approval. As you apply online, you get an approval instantly, as long as you confirm yourself to be in compliance with building rules and guidelines. Likewise, very, very unique provisioning such as green budgets. We wanted to ensure that greening of municipalities, greening of our towns and greening of villages is taken very seriously. So therefore 10% of the budgets in both rural areas and also urban areas are earmarked for green budgets. This is again nowhere in India. Likewise, let me also point out, we take accountability very seriously. Now, the Panchayati chairman, which is a Sarpanch, and also the municipal chairman, will be held accountable if they cannot ensure 85% survival of the saplings that have been planted in their respective local bodies. This again, by statute, is something that no government in India has dared to do in the past 75 years. Likewise, our land records management system is again a very, very unique system. It works exactly in the model of a passport office, where you can apply online, you can fix up an appointment, you can actually go to the registration office and get your registration and mutation done on the same day. Again, no other state in India allows you to do this on the same day. Likewise, some very, very innovative and unique programs, such as the Dignity Housing Program for the Poor, a 560 square foot dwelling area, a 2 BHK, is something that no state in India has attempted in the last 75 years. We offer the poor houses with dignity, which again no state in India can actually claim. Likewise, we're very proud of our sustainable initiatives. Our innovative Chief Minister's idea of planting more than 230 crore saplings over the last 7 years has yielded rich dividends, has reaped rich dividends. More than 8% of green cover is enhanced in the state of Telangana. And this is not me claiming it. This is the Forest Research Institute of India, who has come forward and who has published a report saying that Telangana, in fact, has had the highest in expansion of green cover. Likewise, we've also leveraged. In fact, if I have to put it in Hindi, we've resorted to some jugaad when we were doing some large projects. We've embarked on some very ambitious projects. Mission Bhagirath is one project which we are extremely proud of, where portable drinking water connection to 10 million homes was envisioned. This was about 6 years ago, and we've completed the project now in less than 3 years. When we were laying the project, when we were laying the foundation for the project, our Honorable Chief Minister has advised us, since we are going to be laying more than 140,000 kilometers of pipeline, we might as well use the same trenches to lay fiber optic cable. Now, that is the jugaad I'm talking about. How do you leverage your resources? How do you leverage your abilities to ensure that you deliver bigger bang for the buck? Likewise, as Divya pointed out, we have also launched institutions which have created brilliant startups such as T-Hub. T-Hub is India's largest technology incubator, which we are very proud of. In fact, the second phase of T-Hub will be the second largest incubator in the world, and it will be launched in the next couple of months. Likewise, V-Hub, which is focused exclusively on women entrepreneurs. Agri-Hub, which focuses exclusively on solutions for agri-tech and farmers. Likewise, policies for emerging technology and adoption. One of the things I would like to point out, technology which does not come to the rescue of a common man. Technology which does not have a larger societal impact is futile. This is what our Honorable Chief Minister keeps reminding us every so often. So when we've launched, our drone policy, we said, what are the practical applications of drones? We, in fact, in the middle of the pandemic, we were the first state in the country to have launched a project in tandem with the World Economic Forum and, others here, the local hospitals, etc. here, to deliver vaccines using drones. It was a project called as a Medicine from the Sky, which was launched by the Union Civil Aviation Minister in Hyderabad. Likewise, we leveraged emerging technologies to deliver on several fronts. I can go on about that, but I'm sure we can cover it later. On the 3I mantra, the first piece is innovation. The second I is infrastructure. When it comes to infrastructure, I don't think any state in India has done as brilliantly as Telangana. On the irrigation front, in fact, which was one of the biggest, grouses of the people of Telangana for wanting a separate state, we've done exceedingly well. I don't know how many of you know this. The world's largest lift irrigation project, you can Google it if you don't believe me, is actually a project that has been launched, commissioned and completed in less than 4 years by the state of Telangana. We've spent nearly 1 lakh plus crores of rupees on this without any assistance from Government of India, but we've been able to complete this project in 4 years. Now this is the world's largest lift irrigation project, where we lift water from 82 meters above sea level to about 612 meters above sea level, irrigating nearly 40 lakh acres of land. This is one of its kind of achievement which has no parallel in Indian irrigation history. I would in fact believe, I would strongly urge and strongly make a case that this actually will be a fantastic Harvard business case study, if you ask me. Likewise, not only Kaleshwaram project which I just talked about, Alamuru lift irrigation, which is also envisioned to draw water from Krishna to irrigate lands of the parched Mahbubnagar district, is again a unique project. Between these two rivers, Godavari and Krishna in Telangana, our goal is to tap into every single drop of water that we are entitled to and leverage it to the hill so that agriculture and allied sectors thrive in the new state of Telangana. Not only the large rivers, we also focused on lakes. We have more than 46,000 lakes and tanks in the state of Telangana. In fact, we launched a program in a mission mode called as Mission KTR. We've been able to rejuvenate more than half of the tanks in Telangana, which have added significantly to uplifting the groundwater levels, which have also contributed significantly to agriculture and allied sectors such as fisheries and dairy. Now, I don't know how many of you know this. We talk about Three Gorges, we talk about Chinese execution, we talk about how quickly things happen in China. But like I pointed out, the world's largest lift irrigation project has been done by the youngest state in India within a span of 3.5 years. It's a matter of great pride for all of us Indians, irrespective of where we are in the world. Let me also point out too, another piece of infrastructure that we've done very well on, power, electricity. We started our journey as a power deficit state. our installed capacity of power was only 7,000 plus megawatts. But in the last few years, our Honorable Chief Minister, with a single-minded focus, has been able to raise the installed capacity, increase the installed capacity to more than 16,000 megawatts. Today, Telangana is no more power deficit. We are a power surplus state. We are in fact the only state in India to be providing 24 hours of uninterrupted power supply to all sectors, to the domestic sector, to the industry, and to agriculture as well. And to agriculture, this power is produced free of cost. And let me also point out, we not only ramped up our installed capacity from 7,000 to 16,000, we also in fact are the state where the thermal power stations are operating at the highest PLF, the plant load factor, 87%. And this is not me saying it again, this is Government of India's report. Let me also point out, in case you're thinking, have these guys gone big on thermal? Yes, we have, but we also have ensured our focus on sustainability was not misdoubted, was not overlooked. When the state was formed, the total installed capacity of solar was only 40 megawatts. Today, we are the second largest solar producer in the country at 5,000 plus megawatts. In fact, the first largest state is Karnataka. But if you look at it in a landmass ratio, I would say since Karnataka geographically is a lot bigger, I would most certainly say in terms of landmass versus solar production, we are by far the number one state in the country on renewable as well. Let me also point out to the other project, infrastructure project, which I'm very proud of, providing a portable drinking water connection to each and every home in this project again was completed in less than 4 years. Again, in independent India, no state has had the audacity to dream as big as our Honorable Chief Minister, as forward thinking as our Honorable Chief Minister. This is a project that we completed with more than $6 billion of outlay, and today I'm proud to say that Telangana is the one large state, where every single household in the rural areas receives potable drinking water at 100 LPCD in the rural areas, 135 LPCD in municipalities, and in municipal corporations, we supply 150 LPCD. Let me also point out that our urban infrastructure is one of the best in the country. Again, I'm not blowing my own trumpet. In fact, Mercer, an agency that rates cities on livability index, has consistently rated Hyderabad, our capital city, as a city with the best quality of living among all Indian cities 5 years in a row, from 2015 until 2020. Every single year, Hyderabad has been rated as a city with the best quality of living. I know there are guys from Bombay, Bangalore, Madras, and other cities, who are listening in. Sorry guys, but we are the city with the best quality of living among Indian cities as per Mercer, 5 years in a row. Let me also add, we have not overlooked our rural development in our villages. In fact, Telangana's Palle Pragati program, our Honorable Chief Minister's brainchild, has propelled our villages, the 12,769 villages, to outshine their counterparts elsewhere in India. Recently, when Sansad Adarsh Gramin Yojana rankings were given, Telangana's villages took the top 7 spots out of the top 10 in the country. That goes to show you where real rural development is in the country. Likewise, let me also tell you that our ULBs, not only Hyderabad, but our other ULBs, the municipalities, also have been winning awards on the Swachh Bharat and Swachh Sarvekshan ranking. More than 13 municipalities from Telangana have won awards from Government of India recently. Likewise, our rural infra is something that you would truly be amazed if you visit any of the villages. Telangana is the only state in India where every village has a village nursery, every village has a dump yard, every village has a graveyard, every village has a tractor, a tanker, and most importantly, Telangana also is the only state where every village has a meeting hall for the farmers so that they can federate themselves, they can discuss the rural livelihood problems, agri problems, etc., etc. Now, this is extremely unique. Therefore, if you look at the rural infra and what has been done in terms of agricultural go-down spaces, when we assumed office, when the state of Telangana was formed, we only had 4 lakh metric tons of agriculture go-downs. Today, it is more than 25 lakh metric tons of agriculture go-downs. So we have increased our agri storage capacity by more than 600%. Coming to industrial infrastructure, Telangana is one of the most progressive industrialized states in the country. We are more vibrant than Gujarat, and we are more triumphant than many other states in the country. In fact, let me share with you. I don't know if you know this, but again, for those of you who are not from Telangana, let me point out. When COVID hit us, we realized the importance of vaccines. How many of you actually know that Hyderabad is the vaccine capital of the world, not India? We produce 35% of global human vaccines. We are the biotech and vaccine capital of the world, not India. Let me repeat that again. Likewise, we are the bulk drugs and chemicals capital of India. We produce more than 35% of India's bulk drugs and chemicals. Even when President Trump had called Prime Minister Modi for hydroxychloroquine, it was Hyderabad that came to the rescue of United States of America. In fact, we are also home to some of the biggest industrial parks in the country. The world's largest pharma cluster, called as Hyderabad Pharma City in about 14,000 acres, will be inaugurated in the next few months. India's largest textile park, called as KTR Mega Textile Park, is also located in Telangana and Warangal. Asia's largest biotech cluster, called as Genome Valley, is located in Hyderabad. And I can go on. There are several aerospace parks. I don't know how many of you know this, but President Joe Biden's helicopter, the Marine One, its cabin is also manufactured in Telangana. It's a joint venture of the Tatas and Sikorsky, and it's also manufactured right here. So from tractors to helicopters, Telangana literally covers a lot of ground. Likewise, with our focus on agriculture, with our focus on very, very interesting initiatives such as Raitu Bandhu, which is the largest DBT program anywhere in the country, in independent India, largest direct benefit transfer program. We transferred 50,000 crores of rupees into the accounts of 63 lakh farmers in Telangana in the last 4 years. Now, after this and after 24 hours of power supply and after increased irrigation potential, Telangana's farmers have been producing wonders, have been delivering the goods. Our yields are so rich. Now, Food Corporation of India is having trouble procuring from Telangana. So therefore, we have decided that not only large industrial parks, but also Telangana is creating special food processing zones in about 10,000 acres of land. So if there are any prospective food processing entrepreneurs, I request you to get in touch with us, work with us, because I believe this is a huge sector with huge potential and huge opportunity. On the information technology front, I don't know how many of you know this. Amazon's world's largest campus is not in the United States, it's not in Seattle, it's in Hyderabad. 3.1 million square foot campus of Amazon, which is the world's largest campus, is in Hyderabad. And so is the case. If you look at the top 5 most valued tech companies in the world, Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, all of them without an exception are headquartered in Hyderabad for their second largest campus, and Amazon's largest campus, of course. And not only these 5, Uber, Salesforce, Novartis, Micron, the list goes on. It's endless. All of these companies, many of these, in fact, I would say 90%, have come up in Hyderabad and thereabouts in the last 5 to 6 years. That goes to show you how progressively Telangana has been advancing on the IT and industry front. Now, the third I talked about in the infrastructure, innovation, and inclusive growth piece, which I think is extremely important for a diverse nation like India, is inclusivity. A fine balance of development and welfare has been the hallmark of Telangana and its administration. A fine balance of capex, capital expenditure, and high spend on welfare has been the hallmark of Telangana. Agriculture and allied sectors have been thriving in Telangana, but the industry and IT also have been flourishing in Telangana. For those of you who are students of rural livelihood, let me tell you, there are 5 revolutions that are unfolding in Telangana as we speak. The green revolution, with agriculture thriving and prospering. A blue revolution with our aquaculture doing extremely well, with our fisheries department doing extremely well. A white revolution with our dairy development and dairy corporation doing extremely well. And a pink revolution with our meat processing industry also doubling its capacity in the last 5 years. And another revolution that's in the offing is the yellow revolution. And that is the oil palm industry. Edible oils are going to be an exciting space to be in. Telangana today is the leader in India in taking in the lead. We are going to be cultivating a few million acres of land. We're going to bring in about a few million acres of land in oil palm cultivation. Let me also quickly point out, in case you're wondering if TSI Pass has really worked, if our policies have really worked, more than $30 billion of investment has been attracted by Telangana in the last 7.5 years. We have created more than 1.6 million direct jobs and at least 2 times that of indirect jobs. More than 18,000 plus projects have been given approvals in less than 15 days. And our IT sector continues to grow rapidly and give the rest of the states in India a run for their money. When we assumed office in Telangana, our IT exports were about 57,000 crores. Today they are at 1,45,000 crores, growing at a compounded with a CAGR of more than 12%. Now let me also point out, our employment in IT sector, when we assumed office it was 3 lakh people, today it's more than 6.3 lakh people, more than double. Also let me point out quickly, we have started taking IT to tier 2 towns. We are not centralizing IT in Hyderabad alone. We started developing 8 new IT hubs in tier 2 towns such as Khammam, Nalgonda, Mahbubnagar, Warangal, Karimnagar, Nizamabad, etc., etc. Let me also quickly point out, the state has had a terrific record when I say inclusive growth. The state has a terrific record on law and order because we have been very inclusive, in terms of our approach, not only, not only in terms of policy, but also in letter and spirit. And therefore, the state continues to attract investments, continues to grow. Let me also quickly, point out, as a result of this stable leadership and stable governance, stable and dynamic governance of our Honorable Chief Minister Shri KTR Garu, Telangana has been a champion. Why do I call Telangana the most successful startup in independent India, of independent India? The reason being, our per capita income when the state was formed was about 1.27 lakh rupees. Today, 7 years later, our per capita income is 2.37 lakh rupees. It's almost doubled. We are, in fact, let me also add, our GSDP, and this is RBI's report, not mine, our GSDP was about 4.5 lakh crores when we started our journey as a new state. Today it's at 9.8 lakh crores. So 94% or more increase. Let me also tell you, Telangana forest cover is improved by 8%. We are 11th largest state in India geographically. We are 12th largest state in India population-wise. But according to RBI, we are the 4th largest contributor to Indian economy. We are only 2.5% population of India, but our contribution to GDP is 5%. So that shows you that Telangana is literally punching double to its weight. Now, that is the reason why I call Telangana a fantastic, startup, the most successful startup in independent India. Let me also quickly touch upon some health initiatives such as Basti Dawakhanas in our urban areas, diagnostics, because diagnostics has become extremely important. Every single district headquarters today in Telangana offers more than 57 radiological, pathological, tests free of cost to the people of the state, and we are very proud of it. Dialysis solutions, ICUs, medical colleges in each and every district headquarters, super specialty institutions, and most importantly, using and leveraging technology to the health. Digital health profile is a project that I'm extremely upbeat about and proud of. Electronic health records. We will again be leading the country from the front, and I'm very, very proud of this initiative as well. And we're also launching several other initiatives in education, which I'll not go into because of paucity of time. Well, that brings me to a topic. Now, how do we turbocharge India? What do we do to basically turbocharge India by 2030, like you asked? I would simply say, what Telangana has done in the last 7 years, that can be replicated across India over the next 8 years. I think we would have done our job. I think we would have, achieved 10 trillion economy. I think that is the ambitious goal, but I think that's imminently doable. Provided we replicate what has been done in Telangana, the holistic, inclusive, all-round development that is Telangana has accomplished. Now, we also need, of course, for Telangana model to be replicated across India. We also need to identify some fundamental structural reforms that need to be hastened. Let's ask ourselves a few questions, because most of you are Indian diaspora. I'm imagining, therefore, let's ask ourselves a few introspective questions. Why is it that India, in spite of being one of the largest cotton producing nations in the world, lags behind not only China, but also Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, in terms of textile production and garment production, and apparel production? Why is it? We need to answer that. Why is it that in spite of us being one of the largest consumers of medical devices and medical goods and supplies, we import 78% of our med devices? Why is it that our medical supplies manufacturers claim that it is cheaper to import from China than to manufacture gloves and masks in India? What are these structural impediments that are causing this unfortunate situation? Why is it that India, as a country, could not build a semiconductor fab in 75 years, when smaller countries like Taiwan, Singapore have been able to do it successfully, not one but several of those? Why is it that we cannot optimize our resources, our electricity, for example? We have a total installed capacity in India of 4 lakh megawatts. Our total need is only 2.5 lakh. How is it that we still have unelectrified villages? How is it that we still have power outages? Why is it that we still cannot provide quality power to every single household, every single industry, to every single farmer in the country? Why can't we optimize our resources? Why is it that in spite of having 70,000 TMC of water in various rivers and water bodies in India, we still are not able to give a portable drinking water connection to each and every home and irrigate the 40 crore acres of arable land in India? Why do we still have famines and droughts in some regions and floods in others? Why can't we optimize our resources? Why can't we focus and work together as a country? Why is it that we still have thousands of coastal lines, yet cannot seem to leverage our seaports in terms of trade opportunities, in terms of transshipments, in terms of export-import opportunities? How is it that India, a country which is second largest in the world in terms of population with huge coastline of thousands of kilometers, languishes behind Singapore and Hong Kong, which are small island nations in terms of the handling capacity of the port? Why is it that while we have rich history, culture, heritage, and diversity of population and languages and everything else, and an extremely attractive country, why is it that our number of tourists visiting our nation are less than that of Malaysia or even less than that of Sri Lanka? Where did we miss the boat? In 1987, the size of the GDP of China and India were about the same in 1987, not so long ago, only 35 years ago. And today, Chinese are almost 5 times bigger than us. We are at 2.3, thereabouts, 2.3 trillion, I think, or 2.4 trillion. They are nearly 16 trillion. 5.5, I would say, in fact, I am poor at math, so I think it's much, much larger. Now, if we are able to answer these questions, if we are able to ask ourselves these questions, answer these questions, some of the answers I think I possibly will throw out. For India to, kind of turbocharge itself, the first and fundamental thing we ought to realize is that our biggest strength is our human capital, our think force, which is highly underleveraged. Our Indians, our Indian diaspora has taken the world by storm. Today, Google is headed by an Indian, Microsoft is headed by an Indian, Twitter is headed by an Indian, IBM is headed by an Indian, the list goes on, Adobe is headed by an Indian. But unfortunately, we have not been able to come out with world-class products from India. That is something that we ought to focus on. How do we ensure that entrepreneurial culture is kick-started from a very early stage, from our high schools? How do we do that? How do we ensure that we think on scale? If we really want to compete with large manufacturing countries like China, we cannot be thinking of small industrial parks. We have to think of mega industrial parks. We have to think of mega pharma cities, mega textile parks, etc., mega automobile parks, etc., etc. We also have to start leveraging our economy. How is it that Canadian pension funds are used to fund infrastructure projects in India, while Indian pensioner funds are actually languishing in the banks and safe fixed deposits, this whole conservative thinking needs to be relooked at. How is it that we can think big, in terms of optimizing our resources? We need to start acting as a team. We cannot be saying "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas." It can't just be a slogan in the paper. It has to translate into action. States have to learn from each other, adopt, and not reinvent the wheel all over. Most importantly. And in summary, again, I think I'm running short on time as well. In summary, I would believe that we can make it to the 10 trillion economy in 2030, provided we think ahead, plan ahead, make some bold decisions, take some bold decisions, bold reforms, and create a future-ready policy framework, which will act as an enabler, irrespective of who is at the helm of affairs. But that is extremely important. We cannot wait for somebody else to dictate terms to us. There was a saying at one point in time, what Bengal does today, India does tomorrow. Today I can proudly say, as a Telangana citizen, as a public representative of Telangana, what Telangana does today, India does tomorrow, and therein lies, turbocharging the country, turbocharging India. And why do I say this? I can proudly say this because whatever we've done in the last 7.5 years, a lot of these schemes have been emulated by several other states, 11, 12 states, and even Government of India. The DBT scheme I talked about, Raitu Bandhu, has inspired Government of India to launch its own. In fact, not just inspired, but I think somehow forced Government of India into launching PM Kisan. When we launched Mission Bhagirath, the potable drinking water connection to each and every home, it looked audacious, it looked bold, but it has now forced Government of India into launching Har Ghar Jal. When we launched our irrigation projects with a missionary focus, Mission Kakatiya, Kaleshwaram, and Palamuru lift irrigation, it has now forced Government of India to launch a Jal Jeevan mission to optimize water resources. When we launched TSI Pass 7 years ago, today Government of India is thinking about a One India portal, One Invest India portal, which I think is, again, taken a lot of inspiration from TSI Pass. When we launched urban lung spaces, large urban parks, the Government of India again has drawn inspiration and has come out with its own version calling them Nagar One. We are proud to be contributing to the nation. We are proud to be contributing to my lovely country, India. And if only the rest of the country can emulate Telangana, and I say this with a lot of pride, I think we will be turbocharging in India by 2030. And I'm open to any questions, any comments, any suggestions. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Jai Hind, Jai Telangana.
Thank you so much, sir. That was completely illuminating, enlightening, and so educative. We learned so much from you today. We have lots of questions from the audience, and I'd like to start immediately. So the first one that we have is from Aditya. He says, does Telangana plan to grab the opportunity for becoming a drone manufacturing hub? The central government's new drone policies aim to push Make in India. However, none of the states have focused on this as yet.
Aditya, I'm sorry to disappoint you, my friend. In fact, we launched our drone policy almost 2 years before Government of India. So whatever they've done, they've mainly copied and pasted our policy. I'll say this without being very, very subtle. I'm happy, that they've been inspired by our drone policy. In fact, when we launched the Medicine from the Sky, it was done in Telangana, and we invited the Union Minister. So there's plenty of scope, to launch drones in various sectors, agriculture, in mining, in healthcare. One of the companies, drone companies, and aerospace companies from Telangana has been doing really well, Skyroot. There are several others who are encouraged to manufacture here, to set up shop here, and we also, in fact, if you are wanting to work with us, we also, in fact, offer you, we are your first customer. Let me put it that way. The government will actually be your first customer. We'll also give you a proof of concept. You can work with us. We'll see how it goes, and then we can further extrapolate. So yes, absolutely, we can connect offline and take it from there.
Thank you, sir. Meghna asks, your fast-track approval processes for construction and industry are truly impressive. How are you able to balance these fast timelines with the need for sufficient review, safety, and environmental checks?
Meghna, in fact, our pollution control board and our mining team, etc., are in complete alignment. In fact, over the last 7 years, like I said, we've given more than 18,000 clearances. So therefore, a complete alignment has happened over a period of time. Of course, there was initial resistance, initial concerns, initial teething pains, but we've been able to overcome that firstly. And secondly, we also made sure that the whole carrot and stick model is properly in place. Meaning, if an investor falsely claims compliance and is flouting the norms, we also take stringent action as per law, and we've done that in a few cases. I'm not going to name names, but we've done that in a few cases. But by and large, our decision to repose faith in our investing community has paid off rich dividends, and therefore we are looked at as one state where hassle-free, clearances are given. There's no graft when it comes to clearances, and there's no running around offices either. So it has been a truly enriching experience for a lot of investors. In fact, that shows in the fact that 24% of investments into Telangana are repeat investments. So our existing investors are our biggest brand ambassadors. In fact, let me kind of highlight one specific company, a company called as HSIL, the Hindustan Sanitary India Limited. They had 2 factories in Telangana prior to the formation of the state, but after the state was formed, they've added 7 more in the last 7 years. So that goes to show you how attractive Telangana has been for those investors who've already been here as well.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Sankalp asks, sir, in the post-COVID era, could you throw some light on what the government is doing for the healthcare sector?
Well, firstly, we're ramping up our healthcare infrastructure in a big way. In fact, we have launched 4 new super specialty hospitals in Hyderabad, which will be up and running in the next couple of years. Almost 8 to 10,000 beds will be added there. And likewise, like I said, every single district, 33 districts we have, every single district has been granted a medical college. So that will add to a lot of infrastructure in tier 2 towns. And also, in fact, village clinics and